Charles Wetmore was an interesting character. He had a vision of California that few shared at the time. He bought a 220-acre piece of property and called it the Cresta Blanca Vineyard and Winery right here in the southern edge of the Livermore Valley. And he took the grapevines that he was able to acquire from his European excursions and planted them on this estate, and then allowed other growers to come in and get those vines to plant on their vineyards. So for the Wente family, it was the main reason that my great-grandfather Carl Wente came to this valley. In about 1912, he went over to Pleasanton, very nearby here, and got some Chardonnay vines from Theodore Geer and brought them back and planted them on the Wente estate, along with some vines that he was able to acquire from the Montpellier nursery at the University of Montpellier in France. And so with those two sources of Chardonnay, he began growing Chardonnay for the Wente family in 1912.
So I'm very lucky to make Chardonnay from two different great appellations here in California. First, Livermore Valley, my home and my family's original site in 1883. Then also in the early 60s, my family purchased some acres down in Arroyo Seco, a sub-appellation of Monterey County. And they each delivered different styles of Chardonnay, with Livermore accentuating a little more of the apple, pear, and a minerality, and Arroyo Seco a little bit more in those tropical mango, papaya, guava, pineapple notes.
In the original Wente's heritage vineyards from the 1950s, we went out and looked at the fruit flavors that were in there, and there was at least 3, if not 4 or 5 different distinct fruit profiles, from beautiful green apple to kind of pear apricot to real tropical pineapple guava to almost complete muscat honey-like. So we made sure that we got vines from each of those primary flavor profiles selected for the new vineyard, and we created a vineyard block that is called 33448 in our vineyard block numbering system, and it's about a 5-acre vineyard that contains the most recent selection of the original Chardonnay vines that Ernest Wente planted in 1912. So this is like 7th generation direct descendants from those original vines, and it is a beautiful vineyard. You would never know that they're over 100 years old.
I think that's what makes these heritage selection blocks the coolest thing in the world, because there's literally, like, no one else in the world has stuff that has never left the property like we have that came from 100 years ago.